letter, which I launched this weekend. We are not talking about that right now, but you can go visit that if you want to never pay for credit repair software monthly again. But right now, we're going to talk about how to remove bankruptcies and debt buyer collections from your credit report. And it's really not as difficult as you would really think. Now, what method are we using? We are using the credit sweep method. There's no, online disputes, there's no templates, there's no phone disputes. There's a very specific way that you want to write your letters to remove these from a credit report. Now, just so you know, we're talking about these two things because they're very, very, very difficult, okay? So if you have a bankruptcy and it's not disputed the right way, it's either not going to come off or you're looking at, like a minimum of a year, okay? So that's why we're going over this. All right, so if you have a bankruptcy, you're going to want to pay attention. You are going to want to stay to the end of this, and I'm going to try to not make this very, very long. If you have a debt buyer collection, what is a debt buyer collection? That's like portfolio recovery, NCA, Midland, Cavalry, second round. Those are debt buyer collections. It's not medical, it's not a utility bill, it's not any of those, okay? They have to be disputed the right way. And I'm also going to tell you what you should not be doing. I'm going to tell you how to do it and what not to do. So make sure you stay, you pay attention, and you take notes. We're going to start with bankruptcy. So the very first thing that I want to let you know is that if you write a letter to the court telling them or trying to get them to write that letter back to you that says, oh, we don't verify, blah, 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 with the credit bureaus, you are wasting your time. You're going to go around in circles and you're not going to remove the bankruptcy from your credit report, okay? The very first thing that you want to do is pull your credit report and go to Pacer, PACER.gov, okay? It might cost you, like 10 cents a page or something like that, but that 10 cents that you spend is going to be worth it. Trust and believe that, okay? So you're going to look at your credit report, and the links are down in the description if you want to get your credit report from the right place, okay? But I only recommend two places, Smart Credit or Identity IQ, okay? And just so you know, the links that are down in the description are my affiliate links, okay? Caveat. All right, so you went and pulled your credit report, you went to Pacer, you got your docket there, and you have all of the different pages, okay? Now, you're going to go and look at your credit report and go down to the public record section. On, on the public record section, that's where you're going to see your, evictions, child support, some criminal stuff, bankruptcies, judgments, tax liens. That's where we're looking, all right? And you're going to go and look at the part that says court name. There's only one way that this court name should be reported, and I have it right here. U.S. Bankruptcy Court, City, State. If that bankruptcy is listed as anything else, federal district, U.S. BK RPTCT, U.S. Bankruptcy Court without the city and state. I don't care if it's not listed like this with the city and the state, non-abbreviated, then it is not accurate, all right? And I'm going to tell you exactly what you're going to want to say in your dispute to get this removed. Obviously, it's not going to happen on round one. You're going to have to fight to get it removed, but when you're using factual-based disputes, that's what they do. That's all part of the process. It's a game of inches. And at the end of this, we are going to win, but it's going to be a fight, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to write your letter, and you're going to take a screenshot of your account on your credit report. You're going to use it as an exhibit A, B, C, D, E, F, G, blah, 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 okay? You're going to say, remove this bankruptcy for inaccuracy because the court name is listed as however it's listed, federal, Dist Court, U.S. BK RPTCT, U.S. Bankruptcy Court without the city and state, however it is reported, okay, directly from the credit report. And again, take a screenshot. I don't care if you're using your phone. I don't care if you are taking a picture of it off of your PC. Take a screenshot. Then you're going to put exactly how it's listed and delete immediately. Okay, that's all you have to do. And your proof is the fact that your credit report lists something totally different other than the fact that it's supposed to say U.S. Bankruptcy Court. That's all you have to do. Now, again, they're not going to remove it on round 1. They're not going to remove it on round 2. They're not going to remove it on round 3. You're going to have to fight to get this off, okay? But it is like the most damaging thing you could possibly have on your credit report. It is very difficult to get off. And if you're not disputing it the right way, you're going to go around and round and round and round in circles, and 12 months from now, it's still going to be on there. So that's why it's imperative that you do this and you do it the right way, and you do it the right way the first time. Now, what do you do if you already disputed it online? Well, don't dispute online. That's all I have to say about that. You're going to go and write this letter the exact way that I already just told you, and you will be able to get this off if it can potentially come off, okay? Now, what do you do if you're sending out these disputes and it's coming back as verified? Again, we're using irrefutable facts taken directly from the credit report. So they can bitch and hee-haw and moan all they want to, meaning verify it, but we're dealing with the facts, and that's why factual-based disputing is so important. It is so everything, okay? Because you can tell me that this is, whatever you want to, but I'm showing you right here, not only from the credit report, but also, whatever from your own credit report that you sent to me as a response, that you have it reported the wrong way, okay? Anything other than U.S. Bankruptcy Court, city, state is the wrong way. All right, that's all you have to know for a bankruptcy, okay? And you can also go after them for their actual method of verification, okay? You can go and suppress, LexisNexis. You definitely want to do that stuff prior to sending out your letter so that they can't say, oh, we verified it with blah, blah, blah. I didn't ask you to verify. I asked for you, actually, I demanded that you remove it because of the way that you're reporting, okay? So that was number 1. Number 2 is how to remove a debt buyer collection. Now, again, this spans portfolio recovery, Midland, NCA, any collection where they are not collecting on behalf of, they actually hold the debt, okay? Now, I will tell you that you're not going to get it removed by telling them that they have no contract. That's not the way that it works. If it were like that, then there would be no debt collection industry. There would be no lawsuits. We wouldn't have to worry about any of that stuff. So do not use that method. It was a big thing back in 2017 or 2018 to say, oh, I have no, contract with you, blah, 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 delete from my credit report. And guess what? People didn't remove their accounts, and the longer you dispute, the harder it is to get it off. So these are the things that we are going to look for. Number 1, remember, this is a collection. It's a collection because it is late. It is a collection because it is past due, okay? Keep that in mind here. So number 1, look at your credit report, and again, pull it from Smart Credit or Identity IQ, and the links are down in the description. Speaking of the description, if you don't want to deal with any of this, you can use this link, this first link, because there are 2 here, my740.com. I will see if I can do a credit sweep for you, and the consultation is free, okay? Credit sweep isn't free, the consultation is free, okay? So, removing a debt buyer collection. Make sure you're looking at your credit report. Again, screenshot it, take a picture of it, not the whole credit report, but just the actual accounts, okay? Then go and look for, number 1, a past due. There should not be a past due reported on this collection. Why? What's the first thing that I told you? I told you that it's already past due. It is already late. It's a collection. Hello. By default, a collection is past due. A collection is late. So that should not be on there. So no past due, no late payment status, no late status, no 120 days late, no late payments in the payment history unless, caveat, unless you have a payment agreement with them and you are making payments. That is the one caveat there, okay? So if you are making payments and you do have an agreement and you are late, then that does not apply. Outside of that, there should be no late payments, no past due, there should be no limit, no late payment status, and you're going to take all this information directly from the credit report. Again, factual-based disputes, okay? Now, does the same thing apply for a utility bill or a medical bill? Well, we do have a different process for disputing those types of collections. It's called the validation of debt, okay? I have many videos on how to do the validation of debt. So we're not using that with these companies like Portfolio and Midland and Second Round and NCA, so on and so forth, okay? Now, one of the things that I said that I was going to talk about was what you don't want to do. And that is what you don't want to do. You do not want to use the validation of debt. And people get on the phone with me and they're like, oh, I need you to remove this account, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, hey, how did you dispute it already? You know, if you did. And they're like, oh, I sent the validation of debt to them and blah, blah, blah. No. That is a great way to put the limelight on you and say, I want to be sued, take me to court if it's within the statute of limitations. Do not do that. Remember, they have more of a vested interest because even if they only paid 1 cent for it, they still paid for the account. That is because they are debt buyers. They buy booklets of debt. Let's just say 2,000 accounts at the same time. They bought it. They came out of pocket, okay? So they have a more vested interest in collecting from you. So do not make this easier for them and harder for you by using the wrong dispute process. That is why we are going after the way that they are reporting it, because you have a due process to dispute inaccurate information on your credit report, okay? And that's all we're doing. We're not saying mine, not mine, correct, not correct, I don't owe this. We're not saying any of that stuff. And that is why this is so powerful. That is why I was able to remove over 50,000 negative items over the past 4 years using the Jero formula, because all we're doing is taking the stuff from the credit report, plugging it into the formula, and sending out a dispute. So how would you write a dispute letter for this? Let's just say that they have a past due. Well, that is pretty simple. You're going to find whatever the past due is. Again, take a screenshot of your account on your credit report, and you're going to say something to the effect of, delete this account for violation or for inaccuracy, not the or, but you're going to choose one or the other, because this account reports a past due. Obviously, it's a collection. There's going to be no past due, okay? Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth, please. Please, please, please. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. And I prove to you over and over and over again that this works, okay? Delete for inaccuracy because you're reporting a past due. Delete for inaccuracy because you're reporting a limit. Delete for inaccuracy because you're reporting a high balance. Delete for inaccuracy because you're reporting a late payment status. Delete for inaccuracy because you're reporting late payments in the payment history. Delete for inaccuracy because so on and so forth, okay? You have so much that you can work with on here. Now, if you didn't know these, smash that like. If you didn't know this stuff, subscribe if you haven't done so, because I'm going to help you remove these things and go out and get your house and your loans and your vehicles and your high limit credit cards. I'm going to help you get that lifestyle that you deserve. And all you got to do is be here and learn. It's really, really, really simple. All right. Now, what if you did all that and the account is still on there? Hello, we have violations. You disputed it. Did they enter the required notice of dispute within 30 days from the date of first receipt? If they didn't, now we're talking about a violation pursuant to Section 623. The bureaus didn't enter it, okay? And yes, that has a different process than the validation of debt, because with the validation of debt, we're disputing with the collector, trying to get them to not put that notice of dispute. But with this process, again, we're not disputing directly with them. I already told you that's a big, big, big no-no. We're trying to get the bureaus to not put that notice of dispute. So round one, you send out your dispute. 31 days after they received it, pull a new credit report. You either sent it out certified or you're counting the days, right? Because you're either using, a calendar or my Revolution, my Revo planner, or your own credit repair software, or even Live Letter, which again is 50% off today only, okay? Version 2.7 came out today. That link is right there. sendme2.co/live letter. All right, so you're tracking it so you know when it was sent out and when it was received, if it was, by certified mail. And then pull that new report, check for that notice of dispute. Where are you going to find it? Well, it's going to be in the comment section, disputed by consumer, okay? If it's not there on that date, I don't care if it's day 32. Nope, you're in violation. Nope, day 33. Nope, day 60. Nope. Doesn't matter, okay? I have had it where people say that they call and, they're told that the creditor only updates on certain days and blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that. This is not about a convenience to them. This is about federal laws and regulations that they are required to follow. They're not just automatically going to follow them. You have to hold them accountable. And the way that we do this is by using the facts. The way that we do this is by continuing to dispute the right way. And you will be able to remove these collections, charge-offs, late payments, foreclosures, bankruptcy, judgments, tax liens. I don't care what it is. Do it the right way. Do it the right way the first time and get these permanently removed. You don't have to be dealing with this a year from now. You can be in your house. You can be in that new car. You can be, chilling on the beach somewhere, okay? But it's going to take the time of you putting it in now to get this stuff off, all right? And we're not talking about, sending out one round, or we're not talking about, excuse me, sending out one dispute and 14 days later things come off. No, it doesn't work like that. If it worked like that, why would I, as a business, just think about this. If it were as simple as just sending out one dispute and 14 days later things come off, well, why would I have almost 1,200 videos proving to you that it doesn't work like that? Why wouldn't I just do it that way, throw whatever price tag I want on it, and hey, people would be paying it all day in America. There's 68 million people with bad credit. I'd cash in on that all day, right? I mean, just from a business perspective, just being real, right? The ones that go over your head. But it doesn't work like that. There wouldn't be all those people who, can't pay their bills. They get their cars repossessed and their lights turned off, and they have to borrow from mom and dad and get co-signers and all that stuff that we put ourselves into, right? It would be as simple as don't pay, there's no consequence, we get it removed, and we move on and do the whole thing all over again. So, keep that in mind, all right? So, now let's say you did all of this on the debt buyer side. It doesn't work. They don't come off. You disputed the violations. What are we going to do? Well, now we're going to go down the factual hierarchy. There's still 19 other things outside of violations and blatant inaccuracies that you can dispute to get it taken off. We started with the major ones, right? Because each type of negative item has its own things that we dispute to get them removed, right? So now we're just going to go down the rest of the hierarchy. So we're not going to start doing, the whole method of verification and, blah, blah, blah. No. Stick with the facts. We used the big guns. Now we're going to, use the rest, okay? So you don't give up. You don't give in. We just get money, all right? So if this is confusing, I apologize. I tried to make it as simple and straightforward as possible. If you don't know how to create the dispute reasons for this, you may want to check out Live Letter. Like I said, I just went live before this one. I'm talking about version 2.7 of Live Letter that I launched yesterday that does all the heavy lifting for you. So, for example, if you have a debt buyer collection, you can literally automate the entire thing by putting in a client or yourself into the CRM, choosing a letter from a drop-down if you don't want to use your own, and then going to automate. There's a drop-down that says, I want to dispute a charge-off, round 1. I want to dispute a debt buyer collection, round 2, round 1, version A, version B. It does everything for you. You just choose it, and then boom, out pops your letter, okay? So if you don't know how to write dispute reasons that are going to get results, and you want to use that same formula that I did over the last 4 years to remove over 50,000 negative items, then check out Live Letter. Link is right there. sendme2.co/live letter. All right, so if you have questions about this, I don't have the chat on right now because then we would be here all day. But you can, once this is a replay, either post it on this video as a comment, or you can go to any of my other videos and post a comment and say, hey, Kristen, I do not understand how to remove debt buyer collections. Help me out here. I'm disputing a portfolio recovery account and I disputed it, came back as verified. I don't know my next step. Whatever it is, post it as a comment and I will see what I can do. But if you don't want to deal with this, you don't want to deal with disputing bankruptcies, you don't want to deal with having to go to Pacer, you don't want to deal with having to suppress LexisNexis and Sage and all those other ones, Innovis, blah, 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 or you don't want to deal with figuring out how to remove debt buyer collections, then you can see if I can do it for you, my740.com. But otherwise, this is not as difficult as it seems. It all comes down to knowing how an account should and should not report. An example, that's how I came up with these. How do I know that I can dispute the past due on a collection? Well, It's really simple. I know that a past due doesn't belong in a collection, right? How do I know to dispute the, the court name on a bankruptcy? Well, because I know how it should be reported. It should be reported as, according to the new regulations that came out in, what was it, beginning of 2018, that a bankruptcy should be reported as U.S. bankruptcy court, city, state. Hello, that's where I get this stuff, okay? Rules and regulations. I take that information and I apply it to how to dispute, okay? And all we're dealing with is the facts. So if you want to, you can remove these permanently, but you're gonna have to make sure you are not sending in letters that have already been sent in before. Why? Well, now we're getting into something a little bit different here, but just kind of as a side note, if you didn't write that letter yourself, even with live letter, you are still going to go in and edit it to fit exactly what your situation is. So even in that case, you are still not sending in the same letter, okay? If you send in a letter straight off the bat, let's just say a 609 letter or a 1681 letter, and excuse me, all you're doing is copying and pasting your information in and sending the letter in, it's going to come back as verified as accurate with zero investigation. You need to make sure that you take the time, invest in yourself, just a couple of minutes to write a letter based off facts on your credit report, because again, you have a due process to dispute inaccurate information on your credit report, to remove it. That's all it comes down to. So is it possible to remove these? Yes, but not if you do it the wrong way. If you are doing it the wrong way, you are never going to remove these. Or you are, but they're going to come off and come right back on. And now it's going to be 15 to 25 times more difficult to get them off, all right? So that is why it's important to, not only understand how to dispute, but to do it the right way. Okay, so I think that's it. That's how you remove bankruptcy. That is how you remove a debt buyer collection. And again, excuse me, the difference between a debt buyer collection and a third-party collection is that a third-party collection is where the collector is, they don't own the debt. They are collecting on behalf of. So an example is you go to the hospital down the street, you didn't pay, or your insurance didn't cover, a piece of gauze. You didn't know about it. It goes to collections. They do not own that debt. The hospital is going to have the collection agency collect on behalf of. So they still hold it. They still own it. It's just that they hired a company to go after you. That's the difference. With accounts like Portfolio Recovery and Midland, NCA, Calvary, Second Round, they purchase it from Capital One and these other companies, and then now they can go after you for 100% of it, okay? Regardless of the fact that they may have only paid $2 for your account, they're going to collect up to 100%. And yes, they have every right to do it. Why? That is how collections work. That's what you agreed to when you went to Capital One and you got the credit with them and you decided not to pay. You agreed to that entire thing in the terms and conditions or your application or your contract or whatever it was. You said, in the event that I don't pay, I 100% agree with you sending it out to another company to come after me for this debt. Okay, I mean, it is what it is. You got to start reading the terms and conditions. Okay, I don't ever sign up for something, literally now, not ever sign up for something without reading the terms and conditions, because that is how you get screwed. All right, so yeah, this may seem like it's difficult, but it's really, really not, okay? I promise you that if you look at your credit report, and you can go and get one right now using the links in the description, you are going to see these inaccuracies. If you look at your bankruptcy, you're going to see that the court is not listed accurately. If you look at your debt buyer collections, you're going to see these exact same things. Limits and high balances and past dues and late payments and screwed up payment history and payments when you didn't pay. And then once you run out of those, you're going to see that the date last paid is there even though you didn't pay, or that the date last active is 3 different dates, or that they didn't put the notice of dispute, or they didn't update the date last reported even though they said that it was verified. So, hey, you got a lot to work with. You just got to understand how to do it, okay? So, that is it. But again, if you wanted to go check out Live Letter, it is 50% off today only. Version 2.7 came out yesterday. Send me to .co/live letter. Why is it 50% off today? because I just came out with version 2.7 yesterday. So if you don't want to dispute, you don't want someone to do it for you, but you need a little bit of help, then go check this out because it does all the heavy lifting for you. And it comes with over 90 built-in dispute letters, over 125 dispute reasons to choose from, or you can add your own, or you can even add your own letters into it. You can add in your clients, you can automate. It connects to over 4,000 different other apps because it's Google Sheets. You can automate everything else through AppScript. You can literally print dispute letters or even fax them directly from your phone. If you go check out the short that I posted before I went live, before this live, you're going to see that I was able to create a dispute letter in literally 4.5 seconds from my phone. So yeah, it's really simple. Or you can go and waste 5, 10, 15 minutes per client or per your own letters, and hey, that time could have been spent somewhere else, like with your kids or your spouse, or driving around, just whatever. So if you want to save time, you want to save money, you want to save a ton of money because it's only a one-time payment, go check that out. The way that you access that 50% off deal is by actually sending me a chat message at drift.me/ask-Kristen, and I will give you the instructions. But even if you buy it online, you can save 30% until Wednesday. So I'm going to stop rambling. I gotta go, and I will see you later. But make sure you smash that like, subscribe if you haven't done so that you too can remove negative items from your credit report, increase your credit score, and never have to deal with this again. And remember, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. And I've been proving to you, going on 9 years now, that this is the way that you permanently and legally can remove negative items from your credit report, all right? So I'll see you later.